Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel named Inside Angle and the fourth episode of this series named Upper Edge for CA Final. First of all, wishing all the viewers a very happy new year. This is my first new year as a CA, and I hope that all of those who have their attempts in this particular year do end up having that prefix CA against their name. Having said that, let's just get started. Paper 3, audit. This is perceivably, and actually also the toughest paper in CA final. In fact, let me share with you a fact. I had scored 87 marks in the paper of auditing in my intermediate exams. Now, despite this fact, despite having got such a good score in my inter, the only subject or the subject that I was the most scared of getting failed in CA final was the paper of auditing. Yes, I in fact ended up clearing it with a score of 59 marks, which I feel was a good score considering the toughness of the July 21 exams. But then this score you can see in hindsight that I scored 59. But then trust me, for me as well, despite having scored 87 in inter, I was actually very scared of getting failed in audit. So trust me, that is very normal, and each and every student, is scared of failing in audit. So that is pretty normal. So yes, that is pretty much what I wanted to say. But before going ahead, just a disclaimer that there is no foolproof sound strategy for the paper of auditing, because I had what the strategy that I had prepared for myself was thought to be I won't say foolproof or fully sound, but then I had thought that will help me sail through, which did end up helping me sail through. The point is that even in a strategy that I had adopted for myself, seeing the paper, it was I was zapped as to all the questions. एग्जाम में सारे क्वेश्चंस देख के जो डिस्क्रिप्टिव के लग रहा था कि ये तो पढ़ा ही नहीं है. फॉर अ मोमेंट क्वेश्चन ये भी था कि इज दिस द राइट क्वेश्चन पेपर दैट आई हैव गॉट, और आई मीन गॉड नोस हैव आई रेफर्ड द रॉन्ग बुक्स और समथिंग लाइक दैट. So this was the case when I first saw the July 21 audit question paper. So yes, trust me, no strategy in audit is foolproof, but I can always say that each strategy can always help you do better than you could have otherwise done. So I'll try my best to help you frame such a strategy by giving my inputs or the strategies that I had followed that helped me get 59 in the July 21 exams. So let's just get started. Starting first thing first, so about the lectures. Well, I honestly believe watching full course audit lectures, to an extent, I feel, I won't say a waste of time, but then to an extent, still, for me, I felt would have been a waste of time, because there was a paucity of time in my case. And in case of audit, beyond an extent, you feel, sleepy during the audit classes. Beyond an extent, आपको कुछ याद तो रहता नहीं है lectures देखने के बाद भी. समझ में आता है, ठीक है, पर आप जब पढ़ने बैठते हो audit में, तो प्रॉब्लम ये है, आज कुछ पढ़ा, next 5 मिनट बाद आप वो चीज भूल जाओगे, कल तो दूर की बात है. So I felt going for full course audit lectures might not be the soundest decision to take, which is why, and again, not taking lectures at all was also probably not a very good decision to take, given the fact that I would always have that insecurity in my mind that I have not taken lectures and मेरे को सब self study करना है. So I took a middle way, that is going for fast track lectures. So that way I could have a balance of both saving on time as well as not having that insecurity in my mind, having that mental comfort of having taken that lectures. So that is something that I did. Nevertheless, those of you who feel that full course lectures will be fit for you, and that if probably going by the past trend you feel that has helped you in intermediate, you may certainly go for full course lectures in CA final as well. I guess if you go for full course lectures, it should be, if I'm not wrong, around 150 hours, anywhere between 150 to 200 hours, which should take you up to 2 months to complete. And going for fast track, I think that is up to 100 hours, which should take you anywhere between 15 days to 1 month to complete. Right. So this was about the lectures. About the sequence, I've stated that in the first year, you should go for FR, SFM, and SCMP. Audit would come, I would say, after these three subjects are done. Probably you should go with law in the second year first. And then, depending on your personal choice, you could go with either IDT or audit first. So that is your call to take. But I would say this is the sequence. Audit should be either fifth or sixth in the sequence, just before DT. Right. Elective, I'm considering you may not take lectures, or you may want to keep it for the end. So the sequence should be as follows: that is SFM, FR, SCMP, followed by law, followed by audit oblique IDT, followed by audit oblique IDT, and then DT. Right. Moving to the first reading so in my case, my first reading was directly in the study leaves, so far as the paper of audit was concerned. First reading, I think I took somewhere around 14 to 15 days. The ideal number would be anywhere between 12 to 14 days. The ideal number is lesser than what I took, because I ended up taking a little more time towards the essays in my first reading, and I'll come to this later on. Why you should, why is the ideal time lesser? But then the ideal time is anywhere between 12 to 14 days as per your, as per your grasping power. Now, over your so what I did was certainly studying 12 days at a stretch audit is very difficult, right? I mean, anyone and everyone would say that. So in that case, there are people who are fine with studying 2 subjects a day. I was honestly not one of those. If you are, then you can certainly go for half a day audit. Probably studying audit in the hours where you are the most efficient. That helps you getting a grip over the subject. Alternatively, something that I did and something that you also can do if you are not one amongst those who like to study 2 hours, 2 subjects a day. So probably what I did was I used to study audit for 3 days, then I used to take SFM for 2 days, then audit for 3 days, SFM for 2 days, something like that. So that at a stretch, only 3 days is something that I would study audit. That's what I did. So that's how. So my 12 to 14 days became actually 20 to 25 days, including the subject of SFM. That's what I had done. So this was my first reading. The second reading, I would say. So again, first coming to the ideal numbers, and then I'll share what happened in my case. The ideal numbers would be second reading anywhere about maybe 6 days, and the third reading should be again 3 days, followed by the day before exam, that is 1.5 days. So it should be a learning curve of you should be able to do in half the time. So 12 to 14, next would be 6, next would be 3, next would be 1.5. In my case, I had to take one more reading in audit as compared to the other subjects because, like I said before, I was very much afraid of failing in audit as compared to the other subjects. But this one more reading was also aided by the fact that in my first reading, I probably ended up choosing a wrong source or the wrong approach towards studying a few chapters, including essays to be particular, which is why my second reading had almost become my first reading. So in effect, I ended up not capitalizing on what I did in the first reading, which is why that additional one reading in my case. So my second reading was about 8 to 9 days or so, right? But then, like I said, the ideal number should be 12 to 14, 6, 3, and 1.5, right? Now, going ahead, coming to the resources partner. So like I said, in fact, I ended up choosing the wrong resource, and more than that, I ended up changing the resource in the study material that I used in my first reading. I ended up changing it in my second reading. So from this one learning that I want to give, before choosing a resource, do your research well. Preferably, not just ask your seniors. That is obviously one thing that you won't want to do. But a resource that I would have liked, so far as audit was concerned, might not be the same that you might like. So certainly do ask your immediate seniors, the seniors that you trust. But not just that, also try and at least read a few chapters from that particular source before your study leaves get started. And once you decide a particular source, do not change it. Otherwise, मेरे जैसा होगा, that is, you will end up taking another reading because your first reading, the source that you pursued is not the same that you are using in the second reading. So try not to change the source. And in fact, this applies for all the subjects, not just the paper of auditing. This applies to all the subjects. So stick to one source from start to end, and trust me, that is going to help you like anything. Do not change the source. While selecting a source, do ask your immediate seniors. And like I said, also try and read a few chapters from the same source, before your study leaves start. And after reading those few chapters, try to go through the ICI questions from the past RTPs, MTPs, and past papers, so that you know what percentage is getting covered, or probably what is the language being used in those sources. Because in many sources, the ICI language is not used exactly. So that is something that you'll have to figure out. And in fact, trust me, there is no single person who can claim or who should claim that उसकी सोर्स पढ़ के या उसकी बुक पढ़ के आपको एग्जामिशन आ सकता है. सो ट्रस्ट मी, ऑडिट में ऐसी गारंटी कोई नहीं ले सकता, because unless obviously that source is ICI material plus the audit pronouncements. So that is a whole different thing. Otherwise, any source which does not have 100% of the things that are given in either the module or the audit pronouncements will not be exhaustive. And if it is not exhaustive, then certainly there is no guarantee of there not being a question out of that particular book. So you have to keep that in mind. In fact, having said that, I would like to say that you should, so far as the paper of auditing is concerned, there's always a risk that there's something that you would have not studied and comes up in the exam, which certainly happened with all of us, those who appeared in July 21 exams. July 21 paper, like I said, was a total shock for us, because seeing the paper, everyone in the examination hall was just haunted by the fact कि किसी को कुछ नहीं आ रहा. And at least for the first 15 minutes, because तब तक तो MCQ का paper भी नहीं मिला था. So descriptive was very haunting. But then the fact is, obviously, a lot many people ended up clearing. So it is certainly possible. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you certainly will have to expect a tough paper so far as auditing is concerned. And in fact, like I would say, expect disappointment to not be disappointed. Because that way, if you go with an expectation of a tough paper, anything less than that would mean an easy paper for you. And that is something I would want. Instead, there were many people who, in our attempt, seeing that tough audit paper, got so tensed and stressed in the examination hall itself that probably, though they could have cleared with getting 40 marks, they probably, because of that stress, they couldn't even write what they knew. And in fact, on the other way around, let me give my example per se. When I saw the paper, I was in fact, I mean, obviously I was haunted कि ये कैसा पेपर है, कुछ आ नहीं रहा है. But then at the same time, I felt कि अगर मेरे को नहीं आ रहा है, तो obviously others might also be facing the same issue. So the only choice in my hand is probably to make sure that I end up writing as much as I can, जितना भी मेरे को आता है. And from here, there's one more thing that I want to say, that there's this question 5A regarding reopening of financial statements, and that was a section that I had actually skipped while studying the chapter of company audit, right? So I actually didn't know because I had already skipped that, but then we have had studied that particular section in the subject of law in intermediate. So I had a vague idea of it. So when I read the question, I knew I have not studied this in CA final, but I know I have studied this in CA inter, right? So that helped, and I was able to recall that. So though I didn't get 4 out of 4 in that particular answer, but I ended up getting 2 out of 4 in that particular answer, despite the fact that I actually did not, I had actually skipped that while studying audit. So that is the point I'm trying to make. If you don't get stressed out in the examination, or if you hold that presence of mind, there's certainly something that is going to click you that you will end up writing, and that will give you marks. And at the end of the day, audit is not for you to get 80 or 90. You have to probably end up just clearing, and you getting good marks would be dependent on other subjects like probably DT or FR or SFM, etc. Right? So audit में 40 लाना, trust me, is very much possible, and MCQ certainly turn out to be a severe over here. In fact, talking about presence of mind and clicking in the examination hall, let me share one more incident. I mean, in the examination hall itself, there's one more question regarding there being a listed entity, and basically the auditors had not rotated, the partners had not rotated, engagement partner had not rotated, and the same engagement partner was auditing the listed entry since past 8 years, and the question was whether they have complied with the SQC, right, standard of quality control. And seeing that, somewhere it clicked me that a couple of years back, one of my seniors had given an example so far as our office was concerned regarding some audit partner there being some some rotation after end of 7 years, and it clicked me, and I ended up writing that, which is actually correct, that ideally there should be a rotation of engagement partners every 7 years as per the SQC, and that was right. So though this is something that I did not cover as a part of my studying, as in I did not cover it from any particular study material, but that was at the back of my mind because some senior had told me this a couple of years back in a different context, right? So things like these would happen with you as well, not just in a paper of audit, but every other paper. But the only thing is you will have to keep that mental calm, and you'll have to not get pressurized or stressed in that examination hall for these things to click you. Right, these are just very simple things, but then they will certainly help up reaching to that 40 or that 60 marks in the exam hall, right? Having said that, I think ये तो सच किसी से छुपा ही नहीं है कि 100% कोर्स करना ऑडिट में is not possible. Trust me, it is not possible. Even I did not end up doing the 100% course, right? But the point is, I mean, 100% course will certainly be required for you to score 100 on 100, but I'm sure no one is targeting 100 in the paper of audit, or if anyone is, then certainly go for that 100% course. The problem that lies in doing 100% is, even if you end up doing it in the first reading, trust me, in those last 1.5 days, revising everything is very difficult. And for a paper like audit, you will certainly have to revise things the day before exam, because otherwise you won't be able to probably recollect and write it, even if you've done it in the earlier readings. So trust me, only if you are able to revise things in the last 1.5 day does it make sense for you to do that particular thing in the first or the second or the third week, right? So that is one thing that you should keep in mind. So yes, no one can end up doing the 100% syllabus, but then trust me, the choice over here, I mean, supposing if you end up deciding doing 70 or 80% of the syllabus, the choice over here is yours. What 70 or 80% of the syllabus you do? Is it supposed to be just the questions that have been tested in past? If that is the case, then in a paper like July 21, you might not end up clearing, because July 21 there was hardly any question that was that was repeated from the past paper. So you'll have to keep in mind this factor before deciding what 70 or 80% you should do. I'll give you a solution for this as well. I think, instead of doing 70 or 80% of the chapters, you may consider doing probably 60 to 70% of a few chapters, and then probably 100% of a few chapters as well. Do not skip any chapter, because trust me, ICAI tests anything and everything so far as CA final is concerned, and that is what makes CA final very difficult, which is actually true. But then I would say, in terms of the priority you should give to the chapters or the time that you should allocate, I would say the top priority, or rather, if I'm to put it this way, you should do 100% of the course so far as these chapters are concerned. That is LODR, CFS, and and obviously code of ethics. So these three chapters are the most important. Every paper you will see at least one question from each of these. In fact, code of ethics, there are obviously more than three or more questions that are being tested in the exam. That is both in the descriptive as well as the MCQs. So these three chapters you can certainly not ignore. That is LODR, CFS, and code of ethics, right? The second and again one of the most important things is you need to keep in mind is special audit. Generally, people tend to ignore special audit. But special audit, by special audit, I mean the other chapters, right? I mean, for example, NBFC, bank, insurance, investigation, etc. Right? So generally, people tend to ignore these chapters, but trust me, these chapters are very scoring. I'll tell you why. So though these chapters are very lengthy and there's a lot of things written in these chapters, but then at the same time, you need to be mindful of the fact that there is very less possibility of there being twisted questions so far as these chapters are concerned. Obviously, most of the times there will be direct questions being asked out of these chapters, and if you study that particular question well, certainly you'll be able to write it and you'll be getting the marks, right? So which is why I will suggest do not ignore these chapters. These are very important and scoring as well, even from the MCQ viewpoint. So the first in priority, like I said, code of ethics, LODR, CFS. Second would be special audit. Third would be, I would say, the chapter of company audit, which in my case, to be honest, I did very selectively because I felt I had a base of inter, right? So that will help me in at least in case of MCQs. And second, I thought probably it was a very big chapter, and I thought at the end of the day it was just 5 marks. I was expecting just a 5-marker question in descriptive, which again could be from any part of the very big chapter. So I focused just on the company auditors value sections, that is 139 to 148. But then obviously, like I said, यहाँ पे reopening of financial statements वाला question पूछा, which fortunately I was able to answer, though got just 2 out of 4, but I was able to answer because I had that inter का backing, right? So that helps. So that is the third priority, I would say, company audit. But again, do not end up investing too much time behind company audit, because beyond an extent, I'm not saying this won't be tested. This will certainly be tested, but not beyond an extent, right? So be mindful of that fact. And the fourth would be essays. Now, so far as essays are concerned, I mean, my personal take is, honestly, one should not invest too much of time behind essays. I'm not saying you should skip essays or ignore essays or do only half essays. Certainly not. That is not what I'm trying to say. But try to give limited time towards essays. So basically, the thing that I went wrong in the first reading was I ended up giving too much time to essays, and probably if I had done 100% of essays in the first reading, I ended up doing just probably 50 to 60% of the essays. I mean, not in terms of the number, but in terms of the quantum I covered within each essay. I ended up covering just 50 to 60% the day before exam. Now, the reason I'm saying you should give limited time to essays is because honestly, when you take out a ratio of the quantum that you have to study versus the marks that you score in essays, that is very less as compared to maybe special audit or code of ethics. The reason is twofold. One, essays are actually very lengthy in terms of the entire quantum of course that you'll have to study. And second is, in fact, 3 reasons. So the second would be the questions are not very straightforward most of the times. So you might actually not know what is being asked in a question, and you might quote a wrong essay or a wrong, you might end up quoting a wrong answer. The third is, obviously, I mean, it goes without saying that essays are comparatively, I feel, at least for me, I felt they were a little tougher than the other chapters. So I'm sure that is the case with most of us. But even if I ignore that general fact, I would say in case of essays, now there is, of late, as you all know, ICAI has been asking from auditing pronouncements. So it's like an ocean and there is no limit to it. No matter how much you do, there is obviously a scope of there being asked one more question that you would have probably skipped while studying, right? So essays that way are very risky. I mean, not saying you should skip, not at all, because they do carry a sizable weightage, but do give a limited time. I mean, as compared to the marks that are there, as compared to what are your expectations. Obviously, you cannot skip it, but you may give a limited time and accordingly give the importance. I mean, give importance according to the marks that you feel you'll be able to score. You may prioritize a few essays over others, like for example, 570 and 700 series. I mean, specifically those that are covered in the module as a part of the test your knowledge questions or as a part of the chapters. You certainly can prioritize those, but I would not say that any one particular essay is certainly going to be asked or one particular essay is certainly not going to be asked. That is not the case. Yeah, a few are more important than the others. That is fine, right? So that is one important point that I wanted to make. So again, like I said, COE, LODR, and CFS is something that you should try and cover 100%. Special audit would be second, obviously not 100%, but then try and cover your maximum. But they're very scoring, so do not ignore that, right? Third is company audit. You should cover it, but might not be 100%. How much you want to cover is again your call, depending on what your interbacking is in your head. And fourth is essays. So essays obviously you will have to cover because they do have a sizable chunk of weightage, but within a limited time frame. Not just in the first reading, but even in the 1.5 days before exam. Because essays तो इतने बड़े हैं कि पूरा 1.5 दिन आप essays ही करते रह जाओगे तो भी खत्म नहीं होंगे. Still you won't have that confidence, right? So you do end up giving only limited time to essays. Now, I think that sums it up. I think these were the few things that I wanted to put it out. Trust me, the subject of audit, it is not just you who feels you might fail in the subject of audit, or it's not just you who is afraid of audit. Everyone is. So that is something you need to be mindful of. Second is, trust me, unless and until you keep that mental calm in the examination hall, higher chances of you getting flunked in the subject of audit. So you need to keep that mental calm for things to click you, like fortunately it did in my case, right? Third is, in fact, I wanted to put out this point also very well. In the subject of audit, the MCQs is something that is very, very, very important, right? Because basically, that turns out as a savior, because if probably you score 20 out of 13 MCQs, you just have to score 20 out of 70 in subjective, which then becomes easier, much easier, trust me. Now for MCQs, the risk that comes is if you skip a few things from each chapter, you'll also skip on the MCQs. So I think the one tip that I would like to give from my end, so far as MCQs are concerned, try to cover MCQs of all the ICAI sources, right? I mean, I think MCQ booklet that ICAI has issued is one of the major sources, coupled with the RTPs and MTPs over and above that. So do try and cover all of these MCQ sources, and when you do it in the first reading, do make your self notes. Like for example, I remember there's this one MCQ that an auditor can audit maximum 3 insurance companies, with there being maximum 2 life insurance or 2 general insurance companies. And this was an MCQ that was very frequently repeated in the MCQ booklet. So you won't end up spending that, doing all those MCQs in the next reading. Simply write down this one line that I just spoke in the notes, in your handwritten notes. So your handwritten notes would run anywhere between 10 to 15 pages, but between those 10 to, that is something that I did. So I had made my own MCQ handwritten notes and read them the day before exam. That actually turned out to be of great help to me. In fact, having said that, I had also, put this one thing. So while studying for the descriptive questions, I didn't cover this point. That is, that an auditor of a nationalized bank needs to submit a report to the central government. This is something that I had not covered as a part of studying descriptive questions. But luckily, I had put it down in my notes, though it was not covered in any other ICAI material. But then, while going through for the first reading, when I was deciding what to study and what not, though I skipped that part from the descriptive things, I had actually noted down in my MCQ notes, because I thought there was a probability of it being asked in MCQ. Though it didn't get asked in MCQ, this actually was tested in subjective. And there was one sub question of a question wherein it was asked as to whom are the auditors required to study to submit the audit report, and that was central government. That was the answer that I was supposed to write. So this was the third thing that actually clicked in my exam. In this case, it was, I think, not luck, but in this case, it was the fact that I had actually put it down from MCQ notes, which came to my rescue in case of descriptive questions as well. So I think this is something that you should do. Prepare your own notes, handwritten notes, for the purpose of MCQs. I think that sums it up from my side. These were all the pro tips that I wanted to give you so far as the paper of audit was concerned. Don't be afraid. Go for it. You will be able to do it. Right. And I think all the very best to you. Any questions that you have, please to put it down in the comment box, and do like this video for sure. If you like this video, if it was helpful to you by any chance, that will certainly keep me motivated to post further such videos. And any questions you have, put it in the comment box. Do share this video with others, and try to help others get away with the fear of audit as much as possible. Right. And also, I'm sharing my certified copy with you all in the link, so that you can go through it and see as to whether what I said actually had clicked me. Yes, it did. So yeah, you can go through what the way I had written my audit paper and how I scored 59. Right. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for watching. Do share it with others too. Bye bye.